Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Ethan Pearman. You did the best with what you had. Now you know better, you can do better. I began my grade 11 project like everyone else, with the naive idea this was going to be easy. 2,000 words there, 2,000 words here, and then like a 40-hour practical. I sleep that much in a week. But of course, you have to start your either grade 11 project by choosing it. So, I wanted to choose something which would round myself as a person, as well as improve on my passion climbing. So I thought about things which had helped me in my past. I thought about maybe looking in medicine, or thinking about becoming a chiropractor. At one point, I even thought about making shoes. But all of these were situational. How many times in a day do you need to know how to make shoes? However, there was something which had helped me, more than just in climbing, but in everyday life. And that thing was kinesiology. The word kinesiology, as all weird things, comes from a Greek word. That Greek word would be synesthesis, which is split into two words, kino and ola. And yes, I didn't say that correctly, but my project was on kinesiology, not Greek. Those two words, when put together, obviously is movement study, or if I wanted to pass English, the study of movement. That meant that gives us the basis of what kinesiology actually is. As a kinesiologist, we use certain techniques, especially muscle testing, to figure out what your body is trying to tell you. This is kind of like when you have something on the tip of your tongue. I'm sure you've had it. It's so close, you just can't remember what it is. But you know that word. The same thing can happen with your body. It's not exactly telling you the truth. Have you ever, had a sore shoulder? That could be from emotional pain. It could even be because your leg's sore. Or it could be because you don't want to roll out of bed. This gives us the basis of what kinesiology is. It's when a kinesiologist informs their patient of what their body is actually telling us. The difference between a kinesiologist and a chiropractor is a chiropractor would focus on the tight muscle. It's kind of like, I'm not sure if you've ever seen an old Western, or you have one of those kitchen doors with two springs on either side. Sometimes your body's like this. Every muscle has actually two muscles. Otherwise, you get stuck like this. So, as a kinesiologist, we figure out which muscle is too tight, and which muscle is loose. A chiropractor will make the tight muscle loose. Where a kinesiologist, we tell the loose muscle to wake up. This has more implications than you might imagine. For instance, like when you're on stage doing a speech, you might feel like someone turned the aircon up as you start to shake. In kinesiology, we have certain techniques to help us. I'm sure if you have seen Aaron's speech, you know one of them, and it's this head holding, which brings blood to the head. I personally have used this technique in my climbing competitions, for I get nervous and often find myself sick before these. So let me take you a little story on how kinesiology has helped me. In the beginning of this year, before that horrible thing, there was a competition in which was extremely important, because if I had done well in that competition, I could qualify for a competition, and if I came first in that one, I had a chance of going to the Olympics. I know, a long shot. However, it was at least a nice dream at the time. In that competition, there's 3 categories, because climbing is split into 3 different aspects. We have speed, which is a race from the bottom to the top of a 15-meter wall. We have boulder, which is walls which are about 5 meters high, and you fall on mats so you don't die. And then we have lead, which is my least preferred one, because it's the one that's most likely to kill me. It's when you climb with a rope attached to you and you clip it as you go up. These are the really tall walls where you think that person is insane. In the competition, it was split over 2 days. It was split on the Saturday for speed and the Sunday for boulder and lead. On the Saturday, I arrived feeling pretty good, and I used four key techniques from kinesiology to give me the edge. One of those techniques is called Neurovascular Holding, which you use as light touch on your head to calm you down, like I did before this speech. You also use neurolymphatics, which take out the toxins from your body, as well as using your meridians, which energize your body. And the other technique was that head holding, where you visualize and you can see yourself doing it. This has been proven by many scientific studies. However, in the competition, I knew it had helped me, because not only had I run the fastest time I ever had done, which was 11.44 seconds to get up a 15-meter wall, but I wasn't sick yet. However, my enjoyment would not last, as I realized I still placed 16th place, meaning this was going to be hard. The next day, I woke up not as lucky, with a head full of tissues and gone through about 3 toilet rolls. We had to go to the competition, and as we arrived, we realized that this was going to be a lot longer than we thought. There were about 60 plus people just in my category, not even as females. This meant we spent hours long in the sun. However, I had one key advantage. I slept. As well as using my kinesiology, I was able to do moderately well in lead, which had come first. Fortunately, or unfortunately for everyone else, the lead was incredibly hard, and I stood about still 16th place after the lead. The scores are combined, so it means I just had to do well in boulder to do well. Simple. So 3 hours went past, and I had run all my kinesiology techniques. I had done my neurovasculars. I had done my neurolymphatics. I had run my meridians. And I had done my head holding. I had done visualization. And that's all I had learned so far. But I did it all. The competition started with a slight handicap, in which there were so many people, the competition was only 3 minutes per wall. On the first wall, I hadn't done very well. In the second, I barely got off the ground. However, the third, I managed to muster all my strength and suck all the snot back into me and climb that last boulder. I was so excited. I can't really describe the feeling I had felt in that moment. However, if I had to tell you about it, it's like when you get an A on a test, except it was all your tests. I knew that this had not only helped me with my climbing though, for like I said, my tests had gone better. My speaking had become better, as well as my view on the world had become broader, and I was able to see more and be more passionate towards other people. Kinesiology really is a fascinating thing, and it's so broad and so helpful. I called my project How Kinesiology Can Help You in Climbing, in sport. However, I think it should really be a lot broader and be how it can help you in life. Because that's what it did. It helped me. It rounded myself as a being. In the end, I wouldn't have chosen any other thing. So I'd like to end as I started. You did the best with what you had. Now you know better, you can do better. I would like to thank my parents for not always being in perfect health so I could practice on them. I'd like to thank my internal mentor for dealing with my spelling, Miss Chamberlain. I'd like to thank my external mentor, Margie Dundee, for not killing me for when my homework wasn't particularly complete. And I'd like to thank my sister for making me that pancake. The next speaker is Josh Yuster.